From a leadership perspective, what are some things that you're working on right now to become a better leader?
Yeah. So it's different because what are you trying to lead? Right.
Ah,
So,
great question.
I started the year off, in the beginning of the year, I have a theme
Yeah.
and I've been working on that theme for a long time. And it's really interesting because I have a coach for myself.
Yeah.
I hired some of our coaches inside Giant and to coach me as
I
well. And
love
so,
that.
um, one of the Amy Hyatt, she's used to work with Pat Lencioni, a good friend. So Amy was helping me, and I was like, you know what? I think I know. I'm going to fulfill my potential.
Mm.
I'm going to fully fulfill my potential the way that God's wired me. And I got into it about 2 weeks in, and this just happened last week.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think that's it. I don't like it. I've been wearing it, and I don't like it. And you know what I realized? It was like I've been working to be a Sherpa, which
Mm-hmm.
means I have to climb while helping others climb.
Right.
So I just changed, instead of I want to fulfill my potential, I was like, I want to help people fulfill their potential.
That's good.
I fulfill my potential when I help them fulfill their potential.
That's good.
And that one little shift, it just was like, oh, it feels good. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm helping my son fulfill his potential for sixsummers.com.
Mm.
We have a sports business for Seth and Kevin to fulfill their potential, or our app, or Giant, or pick my
I
wife.
love that.
So by helping them fulfill their potential, I'm fulfilling my potential.
For sure.
So,
Without the same weight or without the same like friction or tension, because it's not focused on you, it's focused on others.
and then what happened was, in that process, man, it all settled. And one of our phrases that I learned when I was interviewing Sherpa on Mount Everest,
Yeah.
I asked them these questions, and I said, "So, okay, guys, how many times have you summited?" And they were like, "Well, Jeremie, that's such a Western question. We don't know." And guys, we don't keep track like that. We don't know how many times we've summited. And he pulls his belt off. Fanuru was his name. He pulled his belt off, and he had 17 notches. And he goes, I don't know how many times I've summited, but I've helped 17 people get to the top.
Wow.
And I was like, that's it right there.
That's it.
It's not how many times I've gotten to the top, how many times I've helped others get there, right?
So good.
And in doing that, you're fulfilled because he had to go up and put the rope up for the people to climb.
Completely.
And so for me, it's like, the only struggle I have is I just finished my website, and it's jeremiekubicek.com. And I'm trying to speak, and I'm raising my speaking fees because just if I'm going to speak at the level to help Giant. And that's been the hardest one because I'm like, it's that friction. I'm promoting myself.
Right.
Fully.
Right.
And how do you do that really well? But I know it helps people. It's so fun. I'm an encourager. People like it.
You're so good at it. Yeah.
But I'm like, how do I help other people fulfill their potential?
Yeah.
With that one, that's my only one I'm trying to solve for right now.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see, because I am certain with all of the other revelations you've had, that's going to come to fruition, and you're going to have some amazing wisdom to teach us on the other side of it. Because I honestly feel like that's the number one thing that I would say people struggle with is their own sense of valuation. And it's not knowing their worth, especially in their Christianity. Like, they believe they're worthy. They know this as a son or daughter. But then it's like, how do I teach somebody else about that? How do I project that for other people? Because most people who do quote unquote ministry, they do it for free. And that's, I think, something that plagues the church is we expect people to do it for free. And that is actually causing a negative cycle of poverty inside of the Christian culture. I have my COO and CFO that came in last April. She had been in the education sector for 15 years of independent schools. And she's a part of helping us build our academy and all of this stuff. And she had never worked inside of a Christian-based field. And she was so she still is. I wouldn't say the word that's coming to mind initially is disgusted. I think it's more so just disappointed, but there is this sense of people of their word. They think that they're going to get a cost break. They don't pay on time because they have a testimony that they're walking through. And so I really am passionate about helping people also break that mindset. Have you done any valuation work or financial like development for people to help in that value piece for themselves?
You mean for just them as speakers
I think, well, as speakers, I would say just as people in general, like I help a lot of coaches launch coaching
yeah,
companies.
yeah. So we do that for sure. Inside, like I'll call people up, and I have this one story. I won't say her name, but she was an amazing person. She had a doctorate, and she is brilliant.
Yeah.
But it was almost like in her mind, she's like, I was doing this for free in ministry or in university, and now I'm charging for it. How do you do that? And so I gave her, I'm like, okay, you've been whining about this for a while. Are you done? And I said, I'm going to give you until next Thursday at 5 to continue to undervalue yourself. And I basically said, do you realize all of these companies, they're paying someone? It might as well be you.
Good.
So what if you match what they're paying somebody else? And then I actually had some documentation of a few groups that just paid someone.
Yeah.
And I go, so you have until next Thursday at 5. And it was like a week, I gave her a week, and she came back. She was like, okay, I'm done. I'm a new person. And literally she raised her fees. She started, and she's got now 6, 7 people working for her. She's got just a really robust business, but it was her own, it's dealing with the inferiority complex. And I'm saying the same thing because I'm about to raise my rates to rates that I would go, what?
Yeah.
But I'm about to do that same thing for myself because there's always a level.
Sure.
But it's really getting to the place of like, they're paying these other people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That for that?
Yeah.
Right. And so our stuff is so much better. It's so much more sticky.
It's
Therefore,
so good.
how do you then step into that? Right. But I think it also goes back to like this, like, we may have shared my story, but I had a chance to die in Mexico. I got hit by a drunk driver. It changed the way I'm viewing this world versus the next world. And so it's like, what has to happen for all of us to realize this is not our home? It is the Matrix. We are, there is another kingdom.
Yeah.
And we're revolutionaries for that kingdom.
So good.
And therefore, we're not Christians in like this society. We're kingdom. We're sons and daughters in that society, which makes us then followers of Jesus. We might be Christians, but it's like a different way to think about it. And I just watch a lot of people maybe using Christianity as it's just it's a moral code based off of this world.
Yeah.
Well, you're like, no, you're an envoy of that world.